Hey, so welcome to the Be Better Off Show. You know, this show is all about helping people be healthy, wealthy and wise, and not forget to have some fun. We've got a fantastic guest today, world's fastest bowler at one time in cricket. For the people that don't know what cricket is, look it up. But really great to have Brett Lee here today. I call him champion because he is, but not just in sport, in life and business. He's done incredibly well, and I think he's someone we can learn a lot from. So welcome, Brett.
BK, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Brett to the power of two.
Yeah, absolutely. B squared, which is great. So, Brett, I really wanted to start by asking you, you know, family's so important in life, and I've met your mum and dad. They're great people, hugely supportive go-getters. What was the, you know, growing up, did you always know you wanted to be the world's fastest bowler?
Well, I actually told mum and dad when I was 9, I said, what my dream is to wear the baggy green cap and to bowl over 160 Ks. I just want to break Tomo's record.
Yeah.
And I said that to him at 9.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids get that, and boys and girls get that ambition, whether to play cricket for their country or to play some type of sport. And a lot of those dreams don't come true for a number of reasons. Yeah. Self-belief and people telling you that you can't achieve it. But I reckon at the age of 9, I knew I was going to play for Australia because I instilled that into my brain. So I taught my brain very quickly what I had to do in order to get to that level. And sure, there were mishaps and there were times with broken backs and bones and stuff. Yeah. But I told my parents when I was 9 that was my dream, and I wouldn't stop until I achieved it.
Now, family's so important. You say that to your parents, and as you've alluded to, you know, a lot of people don't have that support, and they don't have, you know, anyone to say, oh, yep, good on you. And in Australia, often you get a negative response to that type of dream. Your mum and dad, what do they say when the 9-year-old Brett comes to them and said, look, mum, I'm going to play for Australia. I want to break Tomo's record, and that'll be fine. And by the way, what are we having for dinner?
Well, exactly. My parents, coming, you know, one of 3 boys, Shane, my older brother, and my younger brother, Grant, they just literally backed us 100%. They gave up their social life in order for us to achieve our dream. My older brother, Shane, had the pleasure to play for Australia as well. We played, I think, 18 or 19, maybe 20 matches together in one-day cricket. My younger brother was probably a better cricketer put together than Shane and I. But didn't want. He went down the academic sort of road and ducks to school and forensic accountancy and all that stuff. But my parents, they just backed us. They went to every single game that we went to. They drove us to, being from the South Coast, drove us to Sydney and back every single weekend, twice a week to training. And I know now as a parent how taxing it can be, and you know as well, Brett, that it's very taxing when you, they've got schoolwork on and they've got after school activities, whether it's sport or dance or music, whatever it is. But my parents they were so good and continue to support us to this day. Which
it's unbelievable. Great. So as you've alluded to, I know with our kids, just to try and be there, I was very lucky. I had a mum and dad who just were what I call a presence. They were just there, and so I believe that I could do things. Obviously, so many people don't have that, so it's a huge advantage. And look, often I think, you know, people forget the sacrifices that other people have made that have helped them get there. So now you've still got a great relationship with your mum and dad.
Oh yeah, we speak all the time.
Do they get great joy out of your career, or?
I hope so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
My mum and dad, because they've been to so many cricket matches and they went to watch a lot of Shield cricket matches up at the SCG. The Australian stuff, they tended to stay more at home and watch it because, you know, my dad doesn't like queues and, you know, he can sit back and have a beer in the lounge room and use a bathroom when he wants, not line up, and he gets the best view in the house with the commentary. And I think it's a bit nervous watching as well because he's a proud parent, or they're both proud parents, but they're just normal people. And, you know, I love them. I thank them so much. I would not to be able to achieve what I did would not have happened unless my parents did what they did for all 3 boys.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, you've mentioned this mental aspect. So you've got this clear goal, it's in your mind, you've decided. Talk to us a little bit about that.
I think when you commit to something, I'm black or white. There's no grey with me. I have to commit 100%. So if I have a game of pool against you now, even though I'm not a good pool player, but I actually want to win.
Yeah.
I want to try my best. I appreciate if I get beaten.
Yeah.
And I will learn from getting beaten, because people are so afraid of losing or being scared about failure. Yeah. Failure is good as long as you learn from it.
Yeah.
And I've failed so many times, but I've learnt the reason why I failed and how I can get past that. So for me, it was all about knowing what I wanted to do, having that clear goal, And when I trained my brain, it was those real clear blueprints that I put into my brain about how I get to play for Australia. Now, you don't at 9 just walk in and play for Australia.
Yeah.
You've got to tick those little goals. You've got to make the under-10s Oak Flats team.
Yeah.
You've got to make the 14s and the 16s.
Yeah.
You've got to do the hard work. You've got to train harder. You've got to train smarter. I knew to be a fast bowler, I had to be the fittest.
Yeah.
And I knew to be an extremely fast bowler, to bowl at 160k, I had to be a good sprinter.
Yeah.
And my mum being a 100-metre sprinter probably helped with the genes.
Yeah.
My dad reckons it came from him, and mum reckons he's full of it, right? But it was exciting to firstly have a bit of natural talent, but then to train the brain, because when you first start playing cricket, it's 80% ability, 20% of what you're doing with your brain. When you get to about 20, 22, 23 years of age, which is the time I played for Australia, I reckon it came down to 80% mental and 20% ability.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. And that transcends over not sport, but business too.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. So, to talk about your first test match, you get picked or chosen to play, I think it was at the MCG against India. Was it India?
India.
So against India, you were 21?
23. I was
23.
Yeah.
So this is a great story.
Felt about 21.
Yep, so 23. and I remember watching it, and Steve Waugh was a great leader of people. And he's throwing the ball, and I just got this sense that, like the support you had from your parents, you had a captain that just loved having a fast bowler in the team. And he just seemed to throw the ball to you. I'm not sure whether you opened or you bowled first change, but as soon as he threw you the ball, he looked as happy as Larry, which was rare for Steve. He wasn't very demonstrative on the field. But talk me through, the mental side. You've got 100,000 people. It's your first test match. A lot of people go to water in these high-pressure situations. What do you remember about it?
Absolutely. And it was so clear to me, and I actually did take that moment to pause, because a lot of people just get straight into it and they miss the moment.
Yeah.
I actually looked around. I mean, here I am at the MCG. I've got my baggy green cap on. I take it off. I take off my sweater. I mark my run-up. I get the ball in my hand. And that was a moment where I could have gone to water. I could have gone, there's 100,000 people. Oh, how do I bowl again and try and get the yips? And I went, no, I've waited my whole life. And there's a little flashback. I closed my eyes for a second, and I could do a flashback to under 10s Oak Flats, the Oak Flats Rats, who I still love. It's all that training, that after school practice with Dad and my Uncle Les and my brothers. All that came flashing back to the reason why I'm here. Went whoosh, bang, here I am. And I thought, I'm not going to stuff this up. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy it. It doesn't mean I'm going to be successful, but I reckon I will be if I have this mindset and I enjoy the game of cricket and I relax and bring on these Indian batsmen.
And it went pretty well. I just remember seeing that you looked absolutely like you were levitating to the crease. You looked like you were having a huge amount of fun. Even Steve Waugh looked like he was having a lot of fun, and it went pretty well. Yeah,
look, I was very, very lucky to get a fifer on debut, which doesn't happen that often. You don't normally get 5 wickets. Rarely, it's very hard to get. But to get 5 on my first Test match, I was like, after I got my first wicket, I thought, I've done it.
Yeah.
I can walk away happy. But then I thought, no, I wouldn't mind 2.
Take it to the bank.
I wouldn't mind 3. Yeah. And then that went throughout my whole career and just enjoyed that opportunity to take wickets. Great.
Now, on the Better Off Show, we want to talk to people about how to live well around health, wealth and wisdom. You're obviously elite athlete, big injury, history with big injuries, big recoveries. But now, how do you stay fit and healthy for living? You've got Lani, your wife, and the kids, busy business and social and other promotional life. What are you doing now just to stay healthy mentally and physically?
Well, I like what you say about staying healthy mentally, because that is probably more important than staying healthy physically. The sort of physical aspect helps the mental health and the mental strength. I do F45 at 5:15 each morning. The reason why I do 5:15, because it works with the school drop-offs and the kids getting up, and it means Lana can do the 6:45, so we sort of tag team in. But getting out of bed, my alarm goes off at 4:15, and then I snooze until 4:40 because I can't get out of bed straight away. It's a nightmare. Long story short, I get up, my work is done, by 6 o'clock. So I'm home at 6:03 having a coffee. Lana's made all the kids' breakfast. I then help with the kids with their brekkie. She goes to the gym. She's done by 8 o'clock, and our day's finished. So I actually feel I'm up before everyone else.
Yeah.
It's still dark when I get up.
Yeah.
It's the best time of the day, and I feel really, really good, like I've achieved something that
like you've
particular
already
day.
won the day.
Yeah, like I've won the day. And as I said, I haven't, off air before, I haven't been this week because I've been so busy. There's been a lot of stuff going on with the house at home and stuff. So I actually feel like I've cheated this week.
Yeah.
I went for a run just before we came on air here, and I feel a lot better already.
Yeah.
You just feel mentally better.
Yeah, it's great. So when you think about how to build wealth, you've professional sporting career, you're very busy, you've got managers and friends and things trying to help, you're under a huge amount of demand, but did you have clear financial goals in the way that you had this clear, at age 9, get to 160 Ks an hour? How did you think about that aspect of your life?
Look, I think the best way to explain my financial sort of background and what I used to think about, playing cricket, and getting paid by, back then, the Australian Cricket Board, now Cricket Australia, I would have played for free.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell them that. But I would have played for free. And all I wanted to make sure that if I can afford to have a beer after a day's play and actually get the credit card and buy a beer, and I'm happy.
Yep.
I'm playing cricket for Australia, afford a beer or a water or whatever,
Happy
and
days.
I feel good.
Yep.
Obviously, that's a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff as well. But then I knew pretty, early on too, I had to look after post-cricket. So I always had one eye on post-cricket. And having a manager from a young age of about 19, I learned about sponsorship. I learned about looking at different commercial opportunities. And I look at all the sponsors and the signage around the grounds and all that type of stuff, and I wanted to use the media in a positive way and actually be very accessible both to and from the media, because I knew that one injury, I'm finished. One serious injury, I could be out of the game. Now, even though my dream was to play for Australia for a number of years, I had to go through, broke my back twice, an elbow surgery twice, an ankle surgery 6 times. I mean, that could have been the end of my career at any stage. And then what happens there? So you see all these beautiful young athletes that are cut down their prime through whatever reason. They've made a mistake, or they've missed out with their sport, or they've got injured, and then they're thrust into the big world that we know can be savage with not a lot of experience. So I always made sure that I worked full-time, even though I was playing for Australia. So I worked in menswear, selling suits, shirts and ties. I learnt about how a business is run. I learned how to deal with people, about doing invoices, about the ups and downs of sales. And without even realising it took my mind off sport. And my sport improved because I had another... And those skill sets I learnt from a guy called Richard Bowman, who's still a very close mate of mine, have set me up for business post-cricket. So I want to make sure that, get to the age of 35, if I finish cricket there, that I've got some investment properties, or I've got things working for me. Yeah,
it's a great story, and I think anyone that's watching this, it's very rare that you hear somebody that's had a career in sport at this level who actually, can share so openly that they had a full-time job, that they were working selling other people's suits and ties. And I remember when you were doing that, people would walk in and you'd be like, okay, this guy's playing for Australia, selling me a suit. But the real life education that offered, Brett, I think really demonstrates his humility, but smarts about, keeping an eye on the future. And then when you think about wisdom, in terms of growing in life, there's a lot to manage, as you mentioned. I find, getting married, being married, well, that's an education. Trying to raise children, that's an education. Trying to do the business, that's an education. Stay fit. When you think about wisdom or growing in terms of your learning and knowledge, how have you attended to or thought about that part of your life?
Well, I think it comes with experience too, and life experiences. Having children, because you don't get you can read a book about when a child's born and what happens, but it's a pretty tough learning curve, isn't it? You've got this beautiful little bubba, and you think, all right, well, I'm have to look after this child for the rest of my life, and then they'll probably look after you when you get older. But there's no real textbook to it. It's the same. You get thrown in the business world, and unless you've done a lot of research or you come from that background, just because I bowled outswingers doesn't mean I'm going to be a good accountant, and vice versa. But I always, the advice I got early on was to hang around people that are smarter than me in the industry that I want to be involved in. And a lot of people know that I am with Kelly Partners, and obviously you've changed the way I've structured my life, and from a financial point of view, it's just been a wonderful association over the last several years, mate. I mean that. We've got a great team around us. Yeah. But I'm not an expert in this field, and I don't claim to be an expert, but I want someone that is an expert. Yeah. So I'm around people that are smarter in that area than me. It's like when I was playing cricket. Dennis Lilly was a smarter bowler than me because he's had more experience when I was 18. Yeah. So I was like a sponge. Teach me, father. And he did. Yeah. And now I want to be that Dennis Lilly to other young kids coming through, and I help guys like Pat Cummins and, can be a sounding board for young up-and-coming cricketers to pass on that knowledge. Yeah. But that's the thing. People sometimes think that you've got to be an expert in every field. You can't do that. Yeah, no question. And that's the point of the show. Get people who are bright at what they do, find out the common learnings. Yeah, and have fun doing it. And have fun and share it. So talk to me about fun. I know you've got many and varied interests. I know you've got your charity, you've got your fishing, your boating, your fashion. Love coffee.
Yeah, loves his coffee. I love my coffee. Personally, I like hanging around people with broad, deep interests. What are those things off the field and off out of the business sphere that really animate you, that you love?
Probably music. Yeah. And this is going to be a big statement here. If you'd offered me a baggy green cap or to be a rock star.
Yeah, Adam Lambert.
I would have had to think.
Brett Lee is Adam Lambert.
No, I'd go more of a Robbie Williams or a Freddie Mercury or someone, a real
Jimmy
good frontman. Yeah. Jimmy Barnes, legend. Yeah. I love music. I got a little bit of musical talent, but I was very smart in knowing that I'm not going to achieve. I love basketball, but I knew I was never going to play for Australia, which is fine. Yeah, yeah. With music, I know that I knew my limits. Yeah. But it's like, is the grass greener on the other side type of thing, and there's a lot of musos I've met that wanted to play cricket for Australia. Yeah. So I appreciate what they've done, but music to me, as soon as I found music, I fell in love with it. That was a sort of part of the jigsaw puzzle that was missing. Got me relaxed. So if I'm playing here at the SCG and Sachin's hit another 100 and I've got none for 100 off my 12 overs, I go back, close the bedroom door, play some songs, just relax, don't think about cricket. Next morning, bring Fantastic. It on.
Now talk to me about the fashion. You started working in fashion. You like your fashion. How did that start?
I had to get measured up for my blazer, under 19s blazer, at the tender age of 17. Met Richard Bowman here at Centrepoint. Yeah. Mum drove me up from the south coast. It was raining. I was in a horrible microfiber suit, and I walked in and he measured me up, and then 3 weeks later he called me and he says, "Brett, Richard Bowman." I said, "Yeah, from Barclays Menswear." "How are you?" He goes, "Good." He goes, "Have you ever thought about a job or an opportunity in fashion?" I said, "Well, I like fashion, but I got no clue." He goes, "Come in Monday morning." And that started a 20-year association between Richard and I, which we still do work together today. Yeah. And, you mentioned about playing cricket, and I came after the 2003 World Cup where we won in South Africa. 2 days later, I'm working in the store, and this South African guy comes in and says, "Weren't you in Johannesburg a couple of nights ago?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "You're about 112 regular, mate. Do you want a shirt with that? I'll get you a 3-button single breast with a notch lapel." So to me, he was like a wicket. Yeah. I see him walk through the gate, see him walk through the door, size him up, get a wicket.
Game on. Very cool. Very, very cool. And then your involvement in India, you've had a huge involvement over there. Was it just the exuberance of the people, their generous nature, love of cricket? What was it about India that's had you do so much there?
Oh, look, it just gets better every single year. I mean, I've been going to India since 1994. Fell in love with the culture and the people. The hospitality over there is the best in the world. And it's funny, like if you ask for something and they can't do it, they'll say yes, and they'll find a way to get
work it out.
And they'll try their hardest. Whereas in Australia, they'll go, "Sorry, mate, can't do it."
Can't do it. Yep.
But they'll obviously love the Australian culture. I'm very, very proud of being an Aussie. But the Indian culture to me is one that I love, and 1.3 billion people that love cricket.
Yeah, amazing.
It's chaos, organised chaos over there. Yeah. And I've been there over 150 times.
Yeah, amazing. So now, as you look forward, what's the big animated goal that 9-year-old bowl faster than Tomo, which you did do. I think was in New Zealand, wasn't it?
Yeah,
in Eden Park,
161 or whatever.
Yeah, so the goal was achieved. Eden Park, 161 k's an hour for a cricket ball. Look that up on YouTube. It's real and absolutely unbelievable. But as you look forward now, what are the big goals?
Well, my goals have changed, and that's fine too. Your goals can change daily. They can change monthly or yearly. But my goals now are making sure that my 3 beautiful kids are looked after and are given the right advice now. And I'm not saying it's funny to say from a financial point of view, I want to make sure that they're looked after when I'm gone. Yeah. But also I want them to earn their own. Yeah. Yeah. So I want to give them good advice as to what I've been through, but there's that part of me that making sure that they're looked after. So it's that, when you're young, you're very selfish. It's all about what can I do? Yeah. Because you're single and you're not married, you haven't got kids. What can I do to achieve this? And then as you get older, and then I've got a beautiful wife in Lana and 3 lovely kids. What can I do now to make sure that they're looked after? So my goals have shifted and changed. Yeah. But I want to keep working hard. I want to, this is stage 2 of my life. Yeah. I want to achieve more in the business world than what I've achieved in sport. Yeah. Yeah. Whether it's, accolades or from a financial point of view. Yeah. So I've got a great team, as I said, with Kelly Partners. I've got a great team around me. Yeah. I've got a great accountant. We've got great financial advice. Lawyers, I've got a great gym that I go to. Yeah. I've got a great family around me, a very small, knitted, close mates. That's all I need. Yeah. And then have fun. Yeah, because absolutely. I keep hearing you say on your podcast stuff that life is too short. Yeah. And we've all seen loved ones that have actually passed away, and you think, why am I on this earth? It's too short. Enjoy life. Yeah. Get off your backside. Have a crack. Yeah. Don't be afraid to fail. Yeah. If you fail, get up and do it again.
So that's a really great. One that I think about a lot. Many people are affected by how other people really, poo-poo their dreams, poo-poo their goals. Yep. For me, that's I've handled that by just getting around very genuine people that want the best for you, and themselves are managing their mental game so that they can be positive about themselves and other people. You've been in a position where you've got every man and his dog at you, and I've watched how you manage that. But can you share with people, how do you pick the right people to hang around and get those detractors at a distance?
It's like gardening, I call it. So you'll have a backyard of all these trees and flowers and weeds, and you've got to weed through to find a small number of flowers that can bloom. So you've got to sift through all the rubbish and all the hot air and all the sort of small talk, that people that you trust, people that you love, and you want to have fun doing it with. And everything that I've done that's been successful, it's been fun. Yep. Now, that I love the saying, stick to what you know. Yep. Stick to what you know, stick to what you love, and you're going to be successful if you keep those morals. The other stuff behind you, get a great team around you that you love and that you trust, that you can all be on the same journey together. Yeah. If I go and try and venture out now and do something that's totally left field and just go, well, I can do something in India because I might have a profile over there or do this, unless I'm there 100%. Unless I'm fully involved, it's not going to happen. So you can't just rely on a name either. It's enjoying what you're doing, having fun what you're doing, and this stage 2 of my life's great because I'm still playing a little bit of cricket. I'm playing next month, which is going to be exciting.
So Brett's a very humble guy. He is captaining the Australian over 30s, is it? Or
over 40s.
Over 40s. Shh. And
very over 40s.
So there's Brett, there's Sachin Tendulkar, captain the Indians, Brian Lara, captain West Indies. Yeah. So it is our era of absolute legends, which would be amazing in India. So that's great.
I can say I'm Captain Australia.
Captain Australia. They don't let fast bowlers do that very often.
I'm captaining my fishing boat. That's about it.
Absolutely, which is good. Now, look, little segment. We've got one of the world's greatest fast bowlers ever here, so we need to do something that puts him under a bit of pressure, embarrasses him a little bit, and gives some value to some young kids out there.
I'll just wet my whistle.
Wet the whistle here. We've got some cricket balls. We've got the test match and we've got the one dayer, but we want to ask the champion here. For the young kids out there, the outswinger. It's the ball you know, I always loved as a young kid, I always thought the swinging cricket ball was just one of the world's most beautiful things. Can you explain to the young kids out there, you know, how do you make that ball swing?
Well, see, cricket's a very simple game, and if you try to overcomplicate things, see, when you're teaching kids, you got to keep things very simple. That's why the Wiggles work.
Yeah.
Music.
I love the Wiggles, favourite band.
The colour, it's easy, it works, right? Cricket's the same. So if you think about a cricket ball, it's all about the way that you present the seam. So if you obviously have a seam off centre, if you have a seam across, it's not going to swing. So you've got to present the seam, probably I might do it there, present the seam straight down to the camera there, right? Now, then it becomes the wrist. So there's actually 3 bones at the back of your hand, and I call them the stumps. So you want to present those 3 bones with the ball straight towards the stumps. If those 3 bones at the back of your hand are actually a little bit there, the ball won't swing. So the easiest thing to do is get a mate, a guy or a girl who you're friends with, and literally get that ball and just throw the ball. Just work on that seam. Make sure that wrist is going straight down, because your wrist has got to snap straight through. Then you can talk about front arm and everything, but unless you get the seam bolt upright, if it wobbles, it won't swing.
Not in the game.
Yeah, and it takes a while to get it. But yeah, as I said, just throw it to your mate over about 5 metres, get the ball coming out of the hand. You've got to, obviously, the ball's got to spin back as you do it. Once the ball spins back, the sort of revolutions on the ball will keep the ball and hold it upright. And then you pray that it hits a wicket and you might get a nick.
Game on. Absolutely fantastic.
What would I know?
Absolutely fantastic to be here with Brett and to share that with you. I hope everyone understands that, you know, in life, if you get the seam up and you're somewhere near off stump, you give yourself the best chance for achieving your goals and to live the life of your dreams. Now, we've got a little presentation to make to Brett for each of our guests. There's a new baby. What's the new bubba's name?
Rafferty.
So Rafferty's
there we go.
looking very healthy. We're gonna give Brett this little lion. His name's Floyd. He's named after my dad, and he's
Lovely.
made by Mary Thought. It's handmade in England by the oldest teddy bear manufacturer in the world. It's high quality. So I'll send this home with Brett for the new little champion. And want to thank Brett for making the time to be here today.
Thanks, BK.
Really amazing, fantastic.
Just watch The Lion King as well at home. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, there it is.
Very nice, mate. Thank you.
Excellent. Have a great day.